Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Be a man of power. Now, usually on Fridays, I talk about like masculinity and everything, and there's only so much I can talk about. You know, just follow everything that I'm saying there and everything. Just go back and just do a search on masculinity and find all my videos. But ultimately, it's about power. It's about making something happen. It's about not just being a man, but being a man of power who can influence something. Shoot, when I talk about body game, that's one form of power, physical power. You know, when you can lift something, or when you can, have like the endurance to last out some things, that's power in itself. That's one form of power. But then also having the education, the knowledge, the certification, when you have knowledge of certain areas, that's power too. When you have knowledge of something, when you're an expert in something, that's power. That's influence. That's where you want to go. You want to just build up power in as many areas as possible. You want to have that influence. You want to be a man of power. You know what? There was a woman I had met way back in the day, and it was on a job, and she ignored me at first. I ain't gonna lie, she ignored me at first until this guy who we both knew in common told her what I was about. She was on me hard, and she said, you know what, you're a man of power. I always remember that. I always remember that, because that's the thing. You want to have power. You want to be able to influence people. Like the physical thing, you want people to look at you and be like, oh, no, I don't want to mess with him. That's one thing, You want to have the knowledge, whatever that your path is, your mission is, you want to have knowledge of it. You want to be an expert in it. I don't care what it is. I remember I met a guy one time, and he was working, and you know what his job was? Cleaning out like foreclosed houses and everything. But he had expertise in it and everything. He had the power in it. He had the guy who actually bought the house, had all this money, was a millionaire, had to listen to this other guy. That's power right there. You want expertise in something. Look, you want to focus on it. What kind of power that you have? What do you know that somebody else doesn't know? Every man should master, not know, but master a body of knowledge. Every man should be a master someplace. And it could take years. It ain't something that's going to happen right away. If you young now, you in your late teens or your early 20s, you should be working on something. By the time you reach my age, you should be a master of something. And it could be anything. It could be anything. But you have to, that's one thing. As a man, you have to master something. You have to have the power in something. You want to be at a place where you can influence people. Influence people. And it might not be in everything, of course. Very few men are going to have power in every single thing. But you should have power in something. And then it could be multiple things. It don't have to be just one thing, too. Let me use a body game example again. You can still build up a body, but then you could be a master of some body of knowledge or something. People should be able to come to you and like get knowledge of something. You should be able to like effectively tell them something, Some men will get power to the point they can influence other people. And you want to build towards that. You want to build towards that no matter what. And that's ultimately like, it's one thing to be masculine, and that's very important. But then you want to build that power, because what does being masculine do anyway? It influences. It creates something. It creates territory. It creates boundaries and everything. You can get people to go in the direction that you need them to go. And let me just be clear, you're not forcing them. People are voluntarily listening to you. They voluntarily not going to bother with you physically, voluntarily. You don't have to force them, because that's not real power right there. If you have to force somebody to do something, that's not power. That's not really power, that's force. People fight against force. You want them to cooperate with you. I always talk about women cooperating with your operation. You want the cooperation of everyone around you, And you want to focus on that. Focus on having some power. What kind of power you have? What is your power? What do you know? What is something that you can do that people are going to listen to? Every now and then I get some people who are going to say, well, I'm going to do some videos and everything. Some say it in a good way, some say it in a bad way. Like, oh, I don't like what you're doing, I'm going to do some videos. Okay, go ahead and do it. What kind of power they got? What they going to talk about? Like, if you're going to do some videos or something, what are you going to talk about that other people are going to listen to? That's power right there. Are you doing something? I want y'all to think about that. Every man, every single one of you, every single man listening to this can have a power in something, But if you don't, if you're not good at something, you're not bringing something to the table, you really not on mission. Because that's ultimately a man's mission. He has to develop a body of knowledge. He has to master something, no matter what. And this don't mean he can always, sometimes he can learn it in a school, at a formal institution. Sometimes he might have to learn it himself, but he's still developing it. He's still developing. This is what he's good at. This is what he can talk about. Every single one of you. And I'm going to be talking about power a bit more. Because one of the saddest things is when a man goes through life and he's powerless. A powerless man, how's he masculine? A powerless man, he's, at the whims of someone else. A powerless man is not really doing anything. As a man, that's not where you want to be. As a man, you want to feel power. And since so many men watch this channel, to get women respond to a man's power. Think about it. When a man has power, when a man can make things happen, when he has influence, women respond to it. They want a man of power, In my last sit-down video, I talked about women needing men on so many levels. That's yet another level. Shit, I could do like a on-demand video on just that. But she wants a man who can make things happen, who can take care of things. She wants to sit back and chill. The yin energy, the feminine energy, wants to sit back and chill. The masculine energy makes things happen. That's power right there. I want y'all to think about that, all right? Be a man of power. And I'll be talking about this more. I will be talking about this more. Because it's not something, when we talk about power, it's not something just a 10-minute video or something like that. It goes longer. It's deeper. But every man needs to have it in his mind. He wants power in something. His physicality, his influence, his knowledge. All right? So that's all I have for right now. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.